Hello, everybody. This is Stephanie Delaney with you again in our Learn Something New series. Today we're talking about great apps to get work done. And I'm going to start here with a little bit of a disclaimer, or a few disclaimers. First, even if you don't have a smartphone, I think it's worth learning a little bit more about what they can do. Or smartphone. Actually, this is sort of a disclaimer too, that when I put iPod, I really mean iPod, iPod Touch, iPad. Usually things go across the whole spectrum. And we'll also be talking about Androids. And I'm trying to be tool agnostic, but I have to confess that I don't really have anything here for the Windows 7 phone, so I apologize for that. But I do have a link for some good apps on the main page here. And there's a bazillion apps out there. There's so many that I can't possibly talk about even a fraction of them in the 5 minutes that I have here. So I'm really focusing on productivity tools, things that can help you get more done. And with that in mind, know that there's not really enough time for me to say too much in this time, but I also give you some links to where you can find even more apps, and at the end I'll be talking about some tools that you can use to find more apps. So let's get going. First, I'm a big fan of learning things and taking in information, and to do that I use my RSS readers. And if you don't know what RSS is, Real Simple Syndication, if you're not getting information this way, I'd encourage you to learn more about it, and I'll have a link for that on the main page. But my favorite RSS reader for the iPhone is Byline. Fabulous tool, just really nice. It's really especially nice for the iPod Touch because it will download all your content and keep it there, so you don't have to be online all the time in order to take advantage of the tool. If you've got an Android, BeyondPod is wonderful. Also does the nice synchronization download feature so that you don't have to be online all the time. If you are a big listener to podcasts, and that's another way that you can get information, iTunes, if you have an Apple tool, is really just does the job as well as anything else. So go with that, and it's so nicely integrated. But Android doesn't have such a nice tool built into it, so I'd really encourage Newsroom. Fabulous tool, worth the $5 that it costs to get the paid version. Although there is a free sample to give it a try. For notes managing, I'm a huge fan of Evernote. You can get it for the iPhone, the Android, and I love their little tagline. It remembers everything. I could do a whole session on just Evernote. I use it for capturing so much information, but it integrates into your web browser. It integrates into your mobile tools. It's just everywhere and saves every kind of information. So if you haven't tried out Evernote, it's fabulous. If you use Evernote but don't have the mobile applications for it, you should definitely get those. For reading later, I'm a huge fan of Instapaper. If you're looking on the web, you're looking at a site and you think, I don't really have time to read this whole thing now, I'd like to read it later, often you'll bookmark it. Instead, save it to Instapaper. You can then read it later on your mobile device or easily look it up without cluttering up your bookmarks. So that's another great option. I should also mention, as long as I'm talking about really great sites, Tegrity has a fabulous app. If you are using Tegrity, if you're not, listen to my thing next week because we'll be talking more about Tegrity. They do have an app for the iPhone only, but apparently the Android app is in development, so we should see that soon. Dropbox, I've already done a whole session on Dropbox, so if you haven't heard that, listen to my On the Cloud, and you can get Dropbox for the iPhone and the Android. Docs2Go, great tool for carrying actual documents around with you. So it'll read PDFs, it'll read Word documents, Excel spreadsheets. You can get a free version or you can get the paid version. If you are using an Android, Touchdown for Outlook has a much nicer interface than the Outlook that came with the phone, so which I just love. And it supports Outlook's task list. And if you don't like the task list in Outlook but want a way to remember what it is you're supposed to be doing when you're getting things done, Remember the Milk is also a fabulous tool for keeping track of your to-do list. Whew, that's a lot of stuff. I have 20 seconds left to tell you about how you can find new apps. Both the Android and the iPod has Appalicious, great website. We'll recommend lots of things, and just for fun, also if you've got an Android, try Fling. Okay, that's all I can say in 5 minutes. Enjoy the links, enjoy the discussion.